following is a fan-made review show. These are not official reviews, nor commissioned, nor monetized videos. All works featured on this channel are properties of their respective owners. Please support the official releases.
Violence is one of the most fun things to watch.
Hello, I'm the Gorehound. I review the bloodiest things I can get my hands on, and welcome to another episode of Slaughter Scenario. You know what's really bugged me over these past few years? The term torture porn. Well, if you're familiar with the term torture porn, then you're very well aware what the films are associated with that title, primarily with the Saw and Hostel films. Well, for those who don't know, the term was coined by film critics who criticize a film where torture or ultraviolence seems most prevalent, with sexual or suggestive imagery often labeling it as torture porn, or Gorno. Now what really gets under my skin is that these mainstream critics feel like they've seen it all. I mean, they coined the term torture porn. Surely they know what they're talking about, right? Let's just say they haven't truly seen a true torture porn film. I mean, the term is thrown left and right when they come across any horror movie nowadays that tries to emulate Saw or Hostel, but really, when you get down to it, aside from the violence and the nudity, there's nothing really arousing about it in the slightest. Seriously, you have to be pretty fucked up to find a person who's willing to subject themselves and drown themselves in a liquid, maggot-infested pig corpse. As twisted as I am, I'm not aroused by such material. I prefer more natural means of disposing of a human being, such as hand-to-hand combat, guns, and well-made steel. Now, I won't divulge into my own personal simple pleasures, but I've come across a film that is quite literally half torture, half porn. I'll even go as far as to say that it is the true staple of the torture porn genre, and absolutely no one knows about it. You would think that the genre got kickstarted in 2004 with Saw. That may be true in North America, but the Japanese have beaten us to the punch with their 1992 effort, Niku Daruma. Well, if you haven't heard of this film, it's probably for your own protection. After all, it's banned in New Zealand according to IMDb. This 69-minute short goes under various different titles, such as Tumbling Doll of Flesh, or most notably, and it's its distributed title, Psycho the Snuff Reels, but the original title is Niku Daruma. If those titles don't ring any bells, then it just adds to the obscure charm one would get upon finding this film. And now for a disclaimer. The film I'm speaking of is in fact a work of pornography, and while it is censored due to Japanese porn laws, I can't exactly post footage of this online without YouTube taking it down. They censor the actor's genitalia, but they don't really cut or trim down the violence or the sex scenes, which while censored are very much real. I can, however, talk about this though. If there's anything I learned from Kevin Smith, it's that you can talk about the most offensive shit possible and get away with it as long as you don't show it. Feel free to look up Clerks on this notion. Regardless, I feel that talking about this film should suffice for what it's worth, and I hope you understand why I chose to go this route. You're not missing much after all. The film has no plot whatsoever other than this small little minimalist thing it has going on, just to set up the torture and the porn, but no plot. It also has no English subtitles, so I'm just saving you the time, really. More than over half the film is about a porn star and how she's quickly cast for a porn shoot, and she does exactly what she's paid to do. All is well until the main lead and the cameraman's assistant start to be, let's just say, more vicious. The woman doesn't take too kindly to this, and she tries to leave the production, but is knocked unconscious by the cameraman's assistant as she's trying to tie her shoes. The movie is at the 47-minute mark at this point. The rest of the film is the cameraman, the male actor, and the assistant tying the woman down to a bed and torturing her slowly for the camera. They do so by cutting off her arm, her legs, scraping her tongue with a potato peeler, raping her, cutting her hole in her chest and having sex with it before killing her and the male lead with a cleaver to the face. The film ends with the director getting a phone call and leaving the scene implying that he has more films to attend to. Now as a film, I think it's slow as fucking molasses. The film itself feels like an act of torture since it's brutally slow paced, even when the violence starts to pick up. It's disturbing at best, but it lacks a story and English subtitles. I can tell they were trying to tell a basic story with it, as a setup for the sex and the violence, but without any context or subtitles in this case, it just becomes a bore. As a porn, while it's definitely not for me, or anyone for that matter, it might please some of the real sickos out there who really get off to this shit. The film is sold as a porn, so it won't surprise me at the least that someone has gotten their sick jollies off to it. I personally can't recommend you watching this, since it's the most literal torture porn film you can find. However, if you can find a snobby enough critic who claims to know torture porn based off anything after 2004, send them a copy of this movie, and let them educate themselves into insecurity knowing that they have watched Niku Daruma. I'm the Gorehound reviewing the most fucked up things I can get my hands on, and I'll see you next time, you sick bastards.